And now an hour of struggling to see in the dark. So we open with Mercedes trying to get back on the pole, and that arm still ain't up to snuff. Uncle Clifford tell her problem's in her head. She said, well, the problem is in your hands, and if I'ma try, you better try too. Back at Uncle Clifford's, he's doing Little Murder's head. LaMarcus is in a rush, and Clifford said he's more secretive than a Janet Jackson lyric. I don't know, it wasn't that big of a secret to me. Because it's always told in a whisper? Is that why? I think that's why. Clifford said, I'm not about to be your secret. LaMarcus is like, I thought we was past that. He said, look, some olive branch booty don't mean I'm over nothing. He said, well, look, even if I was somewhere when I was out, I was wrapped up, were you? And we know we wasn't. But now the phone rings. Still no updates on Aunt Ernestine from the hospital. Back with Mercedes, as she goes for a jog with that pit bull, she sees Maine out of jail because of the Roro. So they throwing him a welcome home party tonight, and he asks her if she'll come with him, and she's like, let me check my schedule. Over at the diner with Autumn and Keyshawn, Keyshawn gives Autumn her and her kids' birth certificates so they can get some fake passports. Autumn says, so we gonna have you at the grand reopening, and that way you'll make all the money off the door. You can take the money and run. Oh, goodness. But on the TV, a commercial against the mayor's godson comes up, and his pappy's apparently alive, but on death row. Over at his campaign office. I mean, come on now, how many lies are there in families about who the actual pappy is? But over at the campaign office, we're doing damage control. So Corbin, who's footing the bill for his mayor campaign, is upset because he needed to know all the information. However, they went after Pastor Woodbine too, but Pastor Woodbine owns her sin. Ha ha! God knows I did my share of check fraud too. But the people in this town gave me no choice with no social safety net, all right. And God knows I've done my share of check fraud. I haven't though, I haven't. I wouldn't even know how. I'm too scared of getting in trouble. So Corbin walks off and Haley's calling. Over at Keyshawn's, her abuser done got her some Louboutins. Oh, the shoes are too small. Her feet spread after 2 kids. So Derek mad he can't do nothing right, so he let her go back to dancing at the Pink. Across town, Corbin goes over to yell at his brother, and he's like, look, you done given Woodbine a leg up, and we could end up with nothing. Over with the heifer that runs Promised Land, she's loving being a widow and porking the pool boy. And I gotta say, my pool man in Vegas was hot. That was not a pool boy, that was a pool man. However, Autumn walks in and the racist hairdresser that's tending to the Promised Land owner says, oh, you're in the wrong place. Shanae's is further down the strip. Autumn's like, no, I'm here to do business. She says, I'm gonna need 10 million, not that 5. She says 5 mil is my best and final. Because the referendum might not pass. I can hold on till the next one. Can you? Autumn says, I'm going to take it to the polls. And we'll see. But I'm going to get my 10 million. Aw, Lil Murder going to see Teak for the last time. So Lil Murder's manager / Undertaker is there. And Lil Murder's like, you kind of death yourself. And he said, look, well, Rome was asking for it. Murder said, you can't be ending people's lives like that. You can't just be murdering willy-nilly. He said, look, somebody was going to get got and it wasn't going to be you. So the manager says, look, I'll handle the tape if it comes out, but I deaded that. Somebody going to make it out the hood, it may as well be you. Back with Uncle Clifford at the Pank, the grand reopening is around the corner. Uncle Clifford's 2 right-hand men are like, Lauren Hawkins is going to only let us run at 50% capacity. How will we make enough money? Diamond up in the corner flirting with that heifer. What? So we get ready for Autumn's new routine. I don't know what herky-jerky crap she doing, but if you can't use that shoulder, you might want to sit down. Yeah, all her grace is gone. Ooh, this is looking terrible. Terrible, terrible. The look on Autumn's face. Oh, and since she ain't ready, enter Keyshawn. So back in the dressing room, Whisper and Roulette are fangirling out over Keyshawn because they wear her lashes. We hear Uncle Clifford and Autumn arguing in the office in the back, and then Whisper and Roulette leave and Mercedes come in. Keyshawn's like, is anybody using my old locker? Mercedes is like, girl, what you think? No, and your makeup table's there too. So Clifford walk off and leave Autumn there. He go outside, call the hospital, they put him on hold, so he starts kicking his car. But then his mama appear in his rearview window and tell him, just let the water wash over you and set you free. And his mama said, now don't just cry, get even. How you gonna get even with Autumn? Oh, now we got Teek's funeral. Oh, he wrote him some poems. Damn, why couldn't they have had love? Why couldn't they have had love? What? So the guy that had problems with Teek is now acting like he killed him? On video? Back at the Pank, Keyshawn and Mercedes are trying out for the top spot. So Roulette and Whisper are watching too, and they making fun of Mercedes. They said a 2001 Mercedes with no AC. It's like watching my grandma try to set up her Wi-Fi. So Roulette's trying to get Whisper to take a chance on the easy money. Whisper goes to ask her little spirit necklace. Roulette snatches it from her and says, girl, you better make this money. But as Autumn tells her she's not ready, and Keyshawn swings through the air with the greatest of ease, Mercedes gets a call from Terica and has to rush home. So she get home, her sister drunk, and found out about the abobo. Mercedes said, well, look here, Shell, if you wasn't always drunk, she might have come to you. And also, carrying a child to term is not, quote unquote, owning your decision. That's making a choice to have a child. Making a choice to have sex and making a choice to have a child are two very different choices. But Terica like, nah, let me drive her home. I gotta go deal with this. So Uncle Clifford goes over to visit Corbin. I guess this is how he's gonna start to screw over Haley. So he's upset that Woodbine might win the mayoral. So they decide to team up against Woodbine. Clifford like, look, just throw some money at her, she'll be all right. Clifford said, look, I know what I'll never be, but you always swimming against the tide. But water has a mind of its own. A river gonna run a river. So I guess whatever will be, que sera, sera. You know that nun turned Les? Fun fact. Looks like Roulette and Whisper are having a private session with that Cly. Okay, so the guy ain't there yet, but Whisper's like, I got a bad feeling about this. Roulette said, oh, that's just your nerves. Have a bump. Child, he walk in, he ain't even talking to Roulette. So Roulette's like, look, ain't no buy one, get one free. I'm just staying to guard her. Over with the nephew's godson, Andre. He's still watching that ad. And of course, Autumn drops by with a drink. So they wax sentimental about they missing parents, and she's like, well, look, you did better than your family. You're going to be the next mayor of Chuckalulu. And he said, no, that dream has been deferred. She said, you a punk. You better win this. Oh, Lord. Back with Roulette and Whisper post-coitus. He's only giving her half the coin. Lord, now Whisper, if you didn't have a good time, don't test this man, because he looked like the type that would hit a woman. Just take the money and go. Get him back at the club. But I don't want to see him beating on y'all. Yep, now he trying to choke her. Roulette pull out that Beretta. So, child, they steal his clothes and run off. Steal his car, too. He was short 200. He playing that shit. Uh-oh. But now we got the guy that wanted to claim Teek's passing. So he comes out of the food mart and crosses the street through a junkyard, gets a call from his son saying he's on his way home, and out steps Murder from the shadows. And he's like, I don't want no trouble. Murder's like, really? Because I saw a video you were asking for all the smoke, the fire, the magma, the lava, the hot rock. He all like, my mom, you know my mama, I got 2 kids. Where was all that when you was online acting a fool? Child, he shot this man up. I'll let your kids know your daddy love them. Across town, Mercedes shows up to Maine's party. Oh, but now the whole party goes crazy because somebody popped Pico. Fortunately, Mercedes stops him. She's like, you just got out of jail this morning. Sit here with me. So she talks to Maine about killing that guy in the champagne room at the Pink. So she feeling guilty, and he's like, look, just make a difference in somebody else's life and it'll cancel it out. He said, maybe I could make a difference in your life, and tries to get some puss. She's like, I'm looking for something else. And he's like, well, I hope you find it. I'm a hit on since I ain't getting no puss. Just trifling. Uncle Clifford goes to visit his mama at the graveyard, and he feels like he's failing and don't know what to do, especially if he loses grandmama. But over with the evil pastor Patrice Woodbine. So they doing an online service and they getting donations. They just got 10 grand. So the money came with the message, cash me outside, and Patrice knows who that is. And it's Corbin. So he give her that stack of 10,000 and says, take it while you pray on it. This may not be the pulpit you want. So Roulette drops by that white guy's mechanic shop with the car they stole from that guy. And she's like, look, can you bust this down by tomorrow? She tell him, drop it down at the alley, and she check her gun and she still got that bullet in there. And we end it with Lil Murder in the booth. All right, well, I'ma see you soon for something.